Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing a review of the 2016 Free Comic Book Day Doctor Who comic book. Yeah, I know, a little bit overdue. It's just that I haven't got around to reading this one for quite some time, if you can believe, and I've only just read it now, prior to this review and our video, so yeah, I just thought I'd go over some of the stories briefly and all sort of say what I thought about it. So yeah, excuse me. So yeah, 4 Doctors, 4 stunning new stories. I would easily say if you have never divulged and are being into the Titan Comic Doctor Who ranges of any of these Doctors, so, you know, 9th, 10th, 11th and or 12th Doctor, I think this is a brilliant jumping on point, as obviously the idea is that they're 4 little sort of, they're like little 4 little freebies, like little taster sessions, you know, like those free samples you sometimes get in a supermarket, the comic book equivalent of that. So, if you've never read any of these comics and you're a fan of Doctor Who and you've been on the fence about picking them up, then I would easily say that you should test them out or pick up one of these for free on Free Comic Book Day and read them, and if you like the stories then go from there, is what I'm saying. On the back you've got you know, just other promotional stuff of different ranges and whatnot. On the front you've got a picture of the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th Doctor. You've got big 2016 Free Comic Book Day, new free adventures with 4 Doctors. In the front you've got welcome to our, and then just a bio on all of the little adventures, the titles, who wrote them, the artists, so on. Little bio on them, stories, and or what pages they're on. So if there's a specific Doctor and you only like the 10th Doctor, or you know, or the 11th Doctor, for example, you can just skip on over to that page. You've also got Titan Comics website, Twitter and Facebook to give them feedback. Now, oddly enough, even though I would say out of these 4 Doctors, my 2 favourite Doctors out of them would probably be the 12th and 9th Doctor, oddly enough, I really enjoyed the 11th and 10th Doctor's stories over the over 12 and 9. I really enjoyed Matt Smith's one and David Tennant's story. So yeah, after a while of the let me just one of the adventures, you've got you know, little advertisement-y stuff here, like, and I think this one's particularly noteworthy because I love the format of it, where it's got like what's from Titan Comics, but it's also got like little subheadings of film and TV line, kids comics, and then fantasy and science fiction titles, because I've reviewed more than enough of these Titan Comics in the main ranges, i.e. these sorts of ones, like maybe not so much the 12th and 11th Doctor one specifically, but just as an example. But the thing is, whenever they've had Titan Comic advertisements, all they've done in the back is just say, oh, what's out this month? And I would much have preferred this format, instead of just one big page of here's all this stuff, you know, not in correct order of like genre of sorts. So personally, but as I say, with the 11th Doctor one, I think the reason as to why I like the 11th Doctor and 10th Doctor one more than the 12th and 9th Doctor one is because both the 9th and 12th Doctor one focus more on the Doctor and or him as a character, potentially more, and he's more the point of focus, and it's more just traditional sort of stories. You know, they're not bad, they're just sort of average. They're just sort of average, you know, sort of nice little stories. But the thing is, the point of focus is probably the Doctor, whereas with the 11th and 10th Doctor one, I think the TARDIS was primarily the point of focus in those ones. And I think that's something we don't often get in the main series as it is, so I think it's nice to finally divulge and or go down that route in the comic books. So at least you've got varied stuff here. You know, you've got the giant K1 robot, and that, and all manner of stuff there. With the 11th Doctor, you've got this comic book character from the old Doctor Who comic strips from Doctor Who magazine, and that. And what I love is, like, as he's going through the TARDIS, it's all mechanical looking. Then there's a random bit with tentacles and weird anime monster. Random, like, echoes of the past. Giant goblin thing. And this just looks amazing. The idea that you could just walk into a room of the TARDIS, walk on there, and then everywhere else is just like the universe. Obviously, I'd assume if this was an actual like set, then there'd be rails there, because I can just imagine someone walking off the side and just being like floating in space sort of thing. But yeah, and then you've just got this sort of warehouse like thing, and I think there's parallels between the Doctor and this character. And this character is someone who is quite I think prolific and all well known in the comic book sort of side of Doctor Who, so it's kind of cool to see him here and or appear in here. And I think these stories might interlink with their main range counterparts, i.e. if you like this story and then go into some of the 11th Doctor stories from the main Titan comic 11th Doctor storyline, you might still have these characters. For example, I know that this librarian was a main staple of the sort of first series of 11th Doctor comic books that they did and that. So, you know, and as I say, I just love the characterization of this guy. And the same with the 10th Doctor one. You know, the companions are very much, you know, people I think I've seen before in the 10th Doctor ones. And again, they have another sort of nicely organised advertisement of, like, if you like the 12th Doctor sort of comic book or the 11th Doctor one, here are all of these graphic novels and or comics to pick up, you know, from their respective ranges, which is pretty clever advertisement, really. Again, the 10th Doctor one's very much about the TARDIS. Again, love the corridors here. You know, you never really see the interior of the TARDIS in the Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant designed one. The only ever shot I think we ever get is of the where is it, the that sort of shot, like similar to Christmas Invasion, or the Christmas Invasion. We only get that one shot of you know, the what is it, the wardrobe, that's it. And then you've also got a nice little Easter egg of you know, 4th Doctor, 8th Doctor, 6th Doctor's blue variant costumey thing from Revelation of the Daleks, I think it is, and then the 9th Doctor's costume. You know, and again, the sort of coral design isn't that good when, in terms, well, no, I love that sort of TARDIS, because it's the interior TARDIS that I grew up with, but I think it's not too good when it's, like, elongated and stretched out in the corridors. It just looks a bit like a bad rendered video game, to be honest, you know, like old school sort of not 16-bit, N64 sort of early 3D graphics where polygons would be stretched out, and that's what that looks like to me. And yeah, like, it's simple but effective. That's how I describe most of these stories. They're just little tasters, you know. They're not extravagant, but they don't have to be. They just have to give you sort of that sort of tone and flavour of that Doctor, and they're written by different writers and different artists drew them, and the art and the writing is all very much to a average / above average standards. So, you know, if you can ever pick up this and find it for cheap or for free, I'd highly recommend picking this one up. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.